And of course, one of our biggest problems is our pension program. And we have to take some movement. As you know, we did put something on a referendum. I don't know that it will give us hopefully some guidance, but we have to come to face reality that we just can't afford the pension programs as they're presently funded, and it may mean going to a different type of settlement. In other words, right now we're handicapped with the fire department because we have some kind of agreement that was made many years ago that said that we have to have 28 firemen on our rolls at all times, and we just can't afford that now. And if you take a look at villages surrounding us, that's something that they don't have to deal with that. And I was over today with Mayor Ragucci in Oak Brook Terrace. He doesn't have that problem at all because they have a fire protection district of some sort, and then they have their own, what would you call his program? Is it just a fire protection district?
It's the Oak Brook Terrace,
yeah.
Separate governed by like the park
Right,
district is
yeah.
separate here.
But you see, that would require funding from residents and corporations. And anytime you mention that, you're going to have a problem. And so my thinking is that there are programs out there where we could hire PSI people, for example, or what's the other company, Superior, somebody that are trained with all the certifications that the firemen presently have, and they can be on a paid on call basis where we would not have to pay pensions, and it would force a reduction in our number. I mean, we would not have to have 28. We try to bring that down at least to 21, 22, and I think you should be aware of, if you're not, that we haven't, of those 28 and then some, we don't have any firemen making less than $100,000 with all its benefits, and that's just crazy this time of age. And I'm appealing to you to give us any guidance you have to address this problem. And I know that it's one that we've got to face. And as I said before, special events could help us, but it won't bring us out of that doldrum. But I'm just saying we've got to generate money all the time. And today, I believe it or not, Dave can attest to this, I went over and was able to get $73,000 for a stop light signal from a gentleman who owns a strip mall. Said he wasn't going to give us anything, but he signed the contract. So I'm happy about that.
Can I use you to talk to my lenders?
I'm sorry?
Can I use you to talk to my lenders? Because I can't negotiate.
Yeah.
Well,
That's fantastic.
yeah, well, sometimes you got to play a little hardball.
What?
It charges a big fee to find that money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I felt pretty good about that, but that's only one little item. So here I'm here looking for help.
Well, it's 2/3 of the firemen.
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, it's 2/3 of the fireman salary.
Yeah, 75.
I'm
Oh,
Roughly.
yeah, well, that's not,
doing one of those from a budget standpoint.
yeah. I didn't bring out that for the help
Oh, I
of
understand.
firemen.
I'm saying every little bit helps.
Yeah, every bit helps. That's what I was trying to say. I've been busy. And so I'm looking for your help. And Dave, if you, I'm not going to stay for the whole meeting because I have this cold, but if you have any input, then you and I have talked extensively. And if you have anything that I'm overlooking, please bring it out.
Yeah. Well, Certainly, I think, this year, as in past years, we're going to need to do some creative thinking to
Yes.
balance our budget, and we're still early in the process, but I think, probably our next meeting, last year we focused in October, we had kind of a budget meeting. I think that probably would be the next thing to discuss, is to try to develop some ideas to help us with this year's budget.
Is there anything in the current contract that would prohibit us from doing something like, these basically contract type?
Yes,
employees?
that's our big
Yeah.
big stumbling block. Someone
Yeah.
in past administrations
So, right, it's
granted
28.
them this 28. And I'll be quite candid with you, the man that wrote that contract is the present chief of the fire department.
Have we explored any flexibility as to ever changing it?
We've tried.
And there's no,
There's no movement.
that's amazing.
There's no movement whatsoever.
But you
In
mentioned
fact,
this-
they filed a grievance against us at one point for we had not hired someone within a certain period. Maybe you're aware of this. And they filed a grievance against us for overtime. They wanted us to pay them overtime. Is that correct?
Because we didn't hire somebody right away. Right.
Even though there wasn't any need for them. This is
Because
what-
that person wasn't on the payroll.
Exactly.
So you mentioned this PSI thing, but I guess my question was...
Well, that's only one company.
Right,
That's Superior.
but I mean, it's options, and we've
Yeah.
talked about that.
And these
like
people are
contract
all
employees versus-
qualified. I mean,
Right,
the
sure,
ones
no,
that they
I'm
recommend.
definitely familiar. I mean, Glen Ellen has 26,000 people in it. They have a $700,000 budget for a completely volunteer fire department. So
Right.
look at the difference here, right? We've got a smaller
And
footprint.
it isn't that we haven't talked. We brought in Oak Brook Terrace, people from their fire protection district. We brought in people from the York Fire Protection District. But they have this brotherhood, and I'm putting it to what was told to me, they're not going to violate that brotherhood by trying to incorporate their group into this or dismiss our group and take in a fire protection. No, they didn't want anything to do with it. Didn't matter how much money they,
Sounds like hardball to me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
It's a big challenge.
I don't know, I guess it's, go ahead, Patty.
What I'm suggesting is something that you're going to end up doing eventually. Like most boards, it's the problem with boards. You meet, you continue, you got a subcommittee, and it goes on, and nothing gets done. Here's what you do. October 1st, you fire one fireman. November 1st, you fire another fireman. Need I go on? They'll get the message. They'll go to arbitration. We'll go to court in DuPage and move to set aside the contract. No government can enter into a contract in perpetuity. You can't do it. No more than a president of the United States and a sitting Congress could say all of our airplanes are going to be made by McDonnell Douglas forever. Can't do it. You do that, you take out one fireman a month. That's it, one fireman a month. And you say to the chief, I want the name at noon on the first day of the month of the guy we're going to fire. If I don't hear from you, we're going to pick the guy. It may be you, chief. It may be the lowest guy. It may be the lieutenant making 170 grand, pack his stuff, and he's gone. And you do the same thing in November. They will get the lesson. Firemen, like cops, are street people. They only understand civilized force. That's what they understand. You fire them. You don't terminate them. You don't discharge them. You fire them. And you say you get off the premises and you don't come back. Go. Sue us. Do whatever you want. File a suit. Get the biggest guys you have in DuPage County and file a lawsuit. Take it to Chancery in DuPage where they are anti-union. They realize everyone's in a jam from counties to the smallest town in DuPage County. You can't do this kind of thing. You see what happens in Bell, California, where these guys are doing this in overtime, not only firing them, locking them up. on millions of dollars in lieu of millions of dollars of bail and not letting them use the ill-gotten gains to post bond. If you let those people out on the street, the citizens of Bell would hang them and leave them hanging. So that's what you do. You either do it now, or you do it 6 months from now when we're not 70,000 in the hole, when we're 700,000 in the hole. It's simple. When you look back on anything that government does that's right, you look back on it and you say, gee, that was such a simple solution. It was the right thing to do. Now that guy's going to pack his stuff and go home. His wife's going to say, how come you're here? You're only supposed to be here 2 days a week or 3 days a week. And he says, I lost my job. Why? Why? Because they're knocking off one guy a month and I'm the first guy. She says, we got 2 cars. We got 2 kids in school. The house payment's overdue. Are you nuts? What is the union going to do for you? They're going to picket. They're going to put a big rat in front of the village hall. How does that help us? It doesn't help us. It's out of a job. Maybe he'll sue us. Maybe he'll win something. 3 years from now, she'll leave him. He'll be out of the house. The dog will be dead. And the kids will be out in the street. That's the way you get through life. You don't get through life being namby-pambies. If you need to hire someone for a penny a year to give the message to the fire department, I'm here. Do I know that if I have a heart attack, they'll let me die? Absolutely. I have no question about that. I have no question about that. You gotta act, guys. Please.
Yeah.
Well, I remember
I know
that
My
stuff
comment,
in.
I think that there's something wrong with the system that doesn't allow a board of trustees to affect the budget of the fire department. I mean, we can say to every department, we need a 10% reduction in
But
your
not
budget.
the police or the
Figure
fire.
it out. Whatever you decide to do and however you run your department is fine. Figure it out. But you can't do that with fire.
Policemen, we've been
The
more
policemen have
fortunate
been
because they've been,
accountable.
we brought in CSIs,
Right.
which are
CSIs,
$15 an hour,
Right.
community service, and they perform duties from handling accidents to writing tickets on taxi cabs. We have one young man who's wrote more tickets than any other policeman, and he's not a policeman, he's a CSI, on taxi cabs that don't have a license here in Oak Brook.
So I think that the...
So what's the CSI, Community Service?
Community-
CSO.
CSO. CSO, okay.
I think
Not
that's
even
what
a
you
TV. I don't even want to.
CSI, Oak Brook.
I think there's...
Yeah, there we go.
Second of all, I think that when we negotiate our union contracts in the future, they should be tied to something financially that affects the village, whether it's tied to sales receipts, whether it's tied to number of businesses in the community, whether it's tied to firehouses. Because right now, we can't close a firehouse because we're going to have to move all 28 people out of one
Yeah,
firehouse.
we can't do that.
That would be foolishness. We can't divest to EMT services. We can't do anything. We are held hostage, but and that is
Yeah,
just
and
wrong.
you're right, and that's exactly, we have to take and lay people off, but I do want the finance committee to see our problem. And,
Then where are we supposed to get the money to fund these pensions? So, which one?
Well, we have thoughts about that, but we do have a lot of work to do tonight, so
Okay,
I'm
I'm
going to try
sorry.
to, no, I'm just going to, we've got another resident. Do you have comments?
I'm just coming here to listen
Oh, okay,
and learn.
very good.